So
episode 63.
I'm just waiting for 69.
Okay, well, we'll have to say some other things before we get to 69 because...
Are we going to 69 each other for the 69th episode?
No.
Good.
Yeah, that's a no. But, yeah, we're on episode 63.
Yo, Eddie, is that a birthmark on your neck? It was cum last time that I checked.
Yo, calm the fuck down. First of all, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle.
Rest in peace, Big Nip.
Yeah. Fucking only 33, man. Fucking, it's
fucking tragedy, man.
Yeah, man. Like everything he was about, like owning his own shit. Everybody in the hip hop community, like you see, like all their posts were all saying, like, "Hey, this is a stand-up dude."
Well, like everyone too, like going from like people from Gary V, Rihanna, like all the way down to like fucking, people who nobody even knows, like everybody, like janitors, fucking people like that, like everyone had nothing but amazing things to say about Nipsey, like,
and even like man, you see his early interviews, like even like 10 years ago, like how smart he was then, like man, like he had like knowledge of like a 40-year-old guy, like at like 20 something.
Well, I remember the first time I heard Nipsey was when he put out that mixtape,
the $100 mixtape.
Yeah, and Jay-Z bought like 10 of them or something.
Yeah, I heard about him before that, but like when I heard that, I'm like that's different. But then like a little while after, I was like, that's pretty fucking smart, man. Like, great marketing. Like, how many people talked about that mixtape just because it was $100?
And that was before the era of like clickbait internet too.
Yeah.
So like that's like word traveled about that.
Yeah.
As to where like today rappers will do shit like like that just to make headlines.
Yeah. And what I really respect about him is like he went out and his name suits him. Like he hustled for years. Like he got other label offers for time, and then but he wanted to own his own masters and do that. So he put his grind in for a long time, and then when he did get his deal, he owned all his masters, and they gave him a good deal because all the work that he put in and the stuff that he showed. He's like, hey, here's what I'm doing without y'all.
Yeah.
And yeah. So that's a fucking
hustle and motivate.
Hustle and motivate, man. Like Jim Jones told a story about when on Instagram when Nipsey first got his store, when he first bought the store. Jim Jones was in LA, but he was running with a bunch of Bloods, but he told Nipsey he was in LA, and Nipsey said, "Oh, come through." And then Jim was like, "Yeah, I'm running with a bunch of Bloods," and like Nipsey's like, "Oh, it's alright. I'll make sure like we'll have people meet you a couple blocks away, and we'll have your car walked into the spot."
Oh, word, eh?
Yeah. And like Jim Jones was like saying he could really tell right then like people really love Nipsey in his head, like we don't really know it like over here, like certain artists are bigger here than they are anywhere else, right?
Yeah.
In LA, like you see like just the response after his death, like how much it affected LA, like it's probably like rest in peace Mac Dre, but like how Mac Dre's not really too much known outside of the Bay.
Yeah.
But like
on a mainstream scale. He is, but
he is, but you go there and it's like if you don't know Mac Dre, it's like, and now I assume like it's gonna be the same thing for Nipsey. It's like but Nipsey was on a bigger scale. But I thought it was well, before we get into that part, Eric Holder, man, like he was a rapper. He was in the same clique, the Rolling 60s, the Crips.
So he was a 60 as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he ended up becoming like a known snitch in his hood, and he was hanging around the store, and Nipsey said, "Hey, we don't want you around here." And he came back later on that day, and
do you believe that though?
What? About
the official story?
I believe that kind of shit can happen.
I believe that kind of shit can happen, but do you believe the official story?
Because people get it's because like people from like no matter how good you do in your neighborhood, there's people from your neighborhood that are always going to hate you because...
Well, it's like the boozy like thing, you know what I mean? Yeah. People hypnotized with hatred, right? But there's a few things that don't add up for me with the official story.
Okay.
Now, I do agree, you know, we should just let Nipsey rest, let things, let information accumulate, you know, before we should really make, you know, assumptions and stuff. But there's just, you know, and at first, like, I was one of those people who for years thought Pac was killed by the FBI, right? And then at, like, in more recent years when all this Keefy D shit has come out, you know, there's a lot of answers to things.
Yeah.
I'm more on the fence now, so I try not to draw a conclusion too quickly off this. I thought the Sebi shit was kind of fucked up.
Yeah, Dr. Sebi.
And, like, you know, like, I thought it was kind of fishy. And for those Dr. Sebi was killed.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Dr. Sebi was, he was, a doctor that, wasn't necessarily supported by the government.
Like a natural pathologist.
Yeah, it wasn't supported by the government, and, he actually cured people of AIDS.
Like and, 70 people of AIDS with natural...
Yeah. And, like, he proved that in court. So then, Nipsey was doing a documentary on him. And, that's conspiracy. Like,
well, Lisa Left Eye Lopez, she spoke highly of Dr. Sebi publicly as well. And
yeah. So that might be a thing. So, I really don't know where I stand on that. Because the whole thing with the Eric Holder, because there is people that are jealous of people. And especially if, like... He's trying to be an up-and-coming rapper, and the guy from his hood, Nipsey, that's the big guy, is telling him, hey, don't come around my store, don't, you know?
Like, you don't got no love around here.
Yeah, you don't got no love around here.
That's the big dog.
Yeah. So, people just get jealous of, like, I'm pretty sure, like, if one of us blow up and start becoming, like, a really, like, big name in the scene, people from Brantford... There's gonna be mad at people from Brantford that hate that think, oh, how did he get the opportunity, or how did
I've had that.
They'll look at the work that we do,
bro. I've had that forever, even with small levels of success.
Yeah,
when exactly. We were doing it in Brantford, and like you know, we were kind of buzzing.
Oh yeah,
and like sure. You know, we were doing like YouTube videos that were getting like good views, like you know, a couple thousand or whatever. Like there were people literally that like I went to high school with that like used to freestyle with me and shit, but because of their personalities, they were kind of pieces of shit in one way or another, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't really rock with them. So then once it started to kind of get a little bit of buzz and stuff, I'm like, well, I'm not putting you on my videos and shit. Like, why am I going to go... Like, you've done me wrong in some way. Yeah. Why am I going to go promote you?
Yeah.
But they wanted me to. Yeah. As if, like, I should just forget everything that, you know what I mean, they've done. I'm like, nah. And then next thing you know, like, there were a couple different crews of people who had, like, beef with me. And they're like dropping diss tracks and shit, and I just never responded to them because I'm like, well, like nah, you know what I mean? You're poking the bear, and nah, I'm good. You come with something that's hard, then maybe I will. You know what I mean? It gains a little traction or something, then yeah, all right, maybe I'll respond. But like they're just dropping trash, just thinking, talking shit, and you know. But so I do get that complex, and even like when I've gone off and I moved to Toronto. And now I'm doing interviews and stuff. I've heard of some of the other local guys around here. Once again, I won't say any names. But they're like, oh, like Maloney sold out. He's like doing interviews and he's doing this shit now. And I'm like, how is that selling out?
Right.
Because I'm moving into a market that's still the same market. But like, and like, I don't know if they see it as lucrative or something. But like, just because I'm interviewing big name artists doesn't mean I'm getting paid mad money or something.
Right.
But I've had people say that narrative even recently.
Oh, even people like put it out that like I even heard local guys say that to other people that people were saying that I was paying for interviews.
Oh yeah,
I was like, what? I'm like, and people were like, oh, if you want me to come do the interview, you got pay me. I'm like, okay, we're not going to do the interview then.
Yeah, no.
And I'm like, man, I've interviewed like way bigger names than and I've never paid any of these people.
I've been asked twice for money for an interview, and both times I declined them. And I can't remember the first one, but a promoter was bringing an artist down.
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember who it was, and I won't mention, but they were bringing Locksmith to Brantford.
Okay.
And they asked for money for the interview, and I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then, like, a couple days prior to the show, I don't know if they were worried about, like, maybe the show wasn't buzzing enough yet or whatever, or they want to get more attention, or maybe Locke asked for media. Because that's kind of something you're kind of, like, that's required. Like, if you're a good promoter, if you're booking a tour, like, you're kind of supposed to, or if the artist hires a publicist, like, there's, you know, sometimes artists, like, that's part of their tour. Like, they want to go do media as well while they're on their run, so they can touch these other markets in the best way they can. And so I don't know which way it went, but either way, the guy ended up coming back to us and asking if we would do the interview, like, a day or two before. And we almost neglected it. We almost said nah because of his prior approach. Yeah. And then we're like, you know what, fuck it. It's still good content for us. Yeah. I'm not going to be mad over it. So we did do it. And the second one was Daddy Longneck. I got in touch with his people, and they asked how much for the interview. And I'm like, I'm good. Yeah. You're going to be big on the internet for another month because of clout, and you're going to be gone. Yeah. So I'm good.
Getting back to, I want to do a couple more things about Nipsey. So I thought it was disgusting how this Christopher Dordan, that I think that's how you say his, he was the lawyer for OJ.
In which case, though?
Like the first like original like big one that
wasn't Rob Kardashian his lawyer?
I don't think so.
I could have sworn he was. Didn't he wasn't he the one that got OJ off with murder, and then that's why the Kardashians are who they are?
No, I think it was this guy because I recognized him from the when I seen a picture of him. I'm pretty sure. But anyways, so this guy was
he's Rob Kardashian. He gained most national recognition as OJ's friend and defense attorney during '95 murder trial.
Okay, so it might have been this guy has been associated with
OJ, defending OJ,
and that's how he became a famous lawyer. And now he's defending Eric Holder. Yeah. I can't imagine Eric Holder being a guy that could afford OJ's former lawyer. You looking up him now?
Yeah.
What's it say?
Chris Darden, OJ Simpson prosecutor. So he was the prosecutor.
Okay, so he was involved in that case, but now he's defending Eric Holder. Now I think from what I heard, people were saying he was trying to be an up and coming rapper. He was a snitch in his hood. So I'm not looking at him as probably somebody that can afford a lawyer on that kind of level. So is this guy just doing this for
the clout?
For the clout, like I seen it was stupid. Eric Holder's trying to hide behind him in court when Christopher Dordan's talking to the judge or whatever it was. Like he's trying to hide behind man, it's like your picture's already out there. Like people already see who you are. It's all over the news. Like you're trying to hide behind them so people don't see your face. Like what are you doing, fam?
Well, see, and this goes back to what I was saying, because now that's even another strike into where I think things are fishy. So, like, firstly, the Dr. Sebi thing, that is what it is. I was trying not to speculate. Yeah. One thing I found odd was, for one, this guy was arrested and apprehended within, 24 hours. Or within, 2 days. Like, he was, 2 days. Like, it wasn't long. It was, within a couple days.
He checked himself into a mental...
where they found him.
Which I guess he's pleading non-guilty. Which I think, I think it was, it might have been Charlemagne that said this, and he was saying he might be using that to try and plead insanity. Mm-hmm. And but man, literally he shot him, and then went to go run, and when he realized he was down, he came back and shot him again and kicked him.
Yeah. Like he made sure the job was finished.
Yeah, if I'm just insane, I've never been, but I guess I'm probably just gonna shoot, and then run. Yeah. I'm not gonna think of to go run halfway across the parking lot and then realize he's not getting up and I'll make sure I go finish off the job. Like,
yeah, and I'm not from a street environment.
Because you gotta kind of be thinking like in somewhat of a right mind frame to like realize to go back and like finish the job. Like if you're insane, then you're just gonna shoot and run. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm.
See, it's hard to say because I've never shot someone. I don't know the street mentality, but I'm firstly the biggest thing that surprised me, which I don't think is part of the conspiracy, but I just can't believe that guy left that fucking parking lot alive.
Yeah, well, he shot the other 2 people that were standing with Nipsey as well.
Oh, okay. So what, it was only 3 people out front?
Yeah.
See, I thought it was more like Nipsey in a crowd of people, and then he shot 3 of the people, but...
No.
Oh, okay. So it was only Nipsey, 2 other people, and he shot all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And then, like, just really went in on
I guess Nipsey was at... This is fucked up. Like, Nipsey was at the store. I guess, his homie had just got out of prison for, like, a long sentence or whatever like that. And he was taking him to the store to give him clothes. So he could look presentable when he got home and see his family. I'm like... Man, like, every story you hear about Nipsey is, like, just a stand-up thing. Like, he's, like, making sure his homie looks good for when he goes back to his family. You don't want his homie going back
looking
and bummy clothes and shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, man, like, every story you hear about it. Like, this really affect me, like, a lot, man. Like, some of the other, like, hip-hop deaths around, I felt when Prodigy passed, I felt like we had a lot of, like, Mobb Deep music already. And... with the single cell, like, he wasn't even expected to live as long as he did.
Yeah.
So it hurt, but it didn't like it didn't feel like.
And he teetered and tottered with the with his health a lot.
But the last one that really hit me like this was Guru. When Guru passed, I was like, fuck, man, like, whoa. Yeah, that fucking hit hard.
Well, when it's unexpected, it always hits the hardest, right?
Right.
But like, I don't think there's been anything like Nipsey since Tupac, because of what he meant to his community. Like, Tupac meant so much to
for sure.
So many different communities.
And you see, like, how many people...
And he was one of the people.
How many people were out, like, when the cops let people, like, into that scene?
Yeah.
There was so many, like... There's, like, they had to shut down streets all around.
Yeah.
Because so many people were coming to mourn.
But the thing with,
he dropped, like, so many gems in his music, like, he wasn't around, like, super long and didn't make it, like... But if you paid attention to him from, like, I heard about him in 2009 when Hussle in the House came out. I guess that was his second mixtape, and I've been on it ever since. Like, cause like just some of the shit he was talking about, like in his early interviews when like they're like, oh, so like he's like, no, I'm not gonna go out and buy chains. I'm gonna buy property.
Yeah.
Like in early interviews, like fucking, and people are like, oh well, not rappers don't do that like right away. Like. They do that later on, but like he was like right about that.
Well, get your money right first, then you can afford to buy other things. It's really logical sense, but all of us are programmed. Like, even if I went and got a big check, I'm probably gonna go buy a fucking quarter of cocaine. I'm gonna buy like I'm gonna have fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll be like, I finally got some money. I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah.
No, he didn't, obviously. I don't think he partied, but you know what I mean. That's what most people do. But no, so it's
he drank and smoked, but he didn't.
But very level-headed to like get your first amount of money and not just splurge.
And like if you listen to his album, he has so many references on like you can tell he looked up to like Master P. J Print.
Yeah.
Jay-Z, like all these like
we the No Limit of the West.
Yeah, he
Percy Miller at his best.
He like almost like put that up higher than like the bigger rappers. Like he was like more influenced by the entrepreneurs.
But the one thing I just want to get this off, because I'm not saying I believe it's a conspiracy, but I think it's worth the looking into. I think it's fishy that, for one, the Dr. Sebi thing is fishy. But for two, now I'm not saying snitches are soft people, because like, great example, Sammy the Bull. Yeah. He's more gangster than 90% of the fucking gangsters out there. You know what I mean? Like, that dude was a gangster. He turned snitch. That doesn't mean he didn't murder more people in his life that, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So like, being a snitch, like, people, that title, people automatically look at you like you're a pussy. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're a pussy. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you're a soft dude because you're a snitch. It means that you're not loyal, dude. You didn't stick to the rules of the streets, but you could still have a resume of being a lot more serious than someone who's calling you a snitch. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I think is clear. But I think it's odd that somebody, once you've gone snitch, to go backwards.
Yeah.
Like Sammy the Bull became a snitch like 70-something years old. You know what I mean? He wasn't going out murdering anymore after that shit. Like, he made a conscious decision, I'm going this way now. You know, it'd be like Tekashi 6ix9ine to get out of prison and then go murder someone.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense.
Right.
Now, that's what I find odd. Like, you're already a marked snitch with paperwork. Why are you going to murder somebody? Like, if you couldn't handle, let's say it was a drug charge. If you couldn't handle doing 7 years for a drug charge that you had to snitch from the pressure, then why would you murder somebody? Like, you've already almost made a conscious decision. Once you have paperwork on you, you've almost made a conscious decision that I'm leaving this life alone and I'm trying to go this direction.
Yeah.
Because you can't really go back to the streets and be working like that if you're known as a snitch.
Well, like,
so why would you commit a murder as a snitch? To me, that I just find fishy. And then I'm not saying that snitches can't be serious people, but what I'm saying is I just think it's odd that you would commit one of the highest crimes with the highest punishments after you've snitched for something of less. Like, that to me just seems odd. Secondly, to go back and murder somebody literally over the fact that they said you can't be around here, like, why wouldn't you just pull out and do it then? Why wouldn't you just deal with the situation then? Why would you leave and come back? I find that odd.
Yeah, maybe he didn't have it on him.
But all that was just speculation. Cool. Whatever. There's other ways to look at it, right?
Yeah, there's so many things.
But one thing I found odd, when I read the article, when they captured him, he's in solitary confinement. Alright, cool, because he's a target.
Yeah.
Couldn't you put him in protective custody? Like, why does he have to be in solitary confinement? That means nobody can talk to him. That means he's by himself 24 hours a day. They're sliding fucking meals under his door for him. Like, you're not... I understand not being the general pop, but couldn't you go on, like, protective custody? Like, why are you in solitary confinement? And a $7 million bail? Do you know how high of a bail that is?
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge bail. Like, to me, that reads that people incarcerating him do not want anybody talking to him. And then when you bring up the fact of this guy, you got a high-profile lawyer who obviously he can't afford to pay, taking this case to defend him?
Yeah.
Why is this guy coming out of the woodwork? The guy who prosecuted OJ. Yeah. So he was on the Fed side in the OJ case.
Yeah.
And now he's representing this guy in court. So you have a like, I mean...
I didn't really, like, when I first heard he was the lawyer, like, the way the article...
You thought he was the one who got OJ off.
Yeah.
No, that was Rob Kardashian.
It's even more fishy now that he was working with the feds, and then now he's the guy that fucking... And what's a huge thing that's fucking fucked right up? Nipsey, like, there was plans for, the next day, he was going to go meet with, the chief of police.
Yeah, I heard that talk still happened, too.
Well,
the meeting still happened, like, just without Nipsey present, but they still did it.
Yeah. But like, but he was planning on trying to figure out how to get senseless violence out of the hood. Yeah. And he died from senseless.
See, and I don't think any of that, like, I think there's a higher motive. If it's as deep as, like, a conspiracy, then I don't think it's something as simple as, like, you know, trying to make the hood better and stuff, because that's not so much a threat. It's a threat to certain degrees of certain things, like maybe prison industrial complex and stuff, but you already have prison reform and shit happening, you know what I mean? Yeah. Kim Kardashian isn't catching a bullet, fucking, you know what I mean? Meek Mill's not catching bullets. Like, that's an issue that needs to be worked on. But I think with Nipsey, if it has to do with anything a conspiracy, I think it has to be the Sebi shit or something else he may have been in the works of doing, because...
But Nipsey was, like one thing a lot of, like, rappers said is, a lot of rappers will donate back to their hood, but they don't go back there. And they don't stay there. And
don't go hang out, yeah.
And don't hang out. And Nipsey was one of the rare ones that actually...
Did. And,
yeah, a lot of rappers were saying, hey, you know, if you want to do good things for your hood, that's awesome. Invest money into things, but it's dangerous to be
hanging out.
Because like I was talking with somebody last night about rappers that have got shot over the time, and really like there could be a couple more, but like majority of people get shot in their own cities. Like there's Tupac and Biggie that were shot outside their cities.
Yeah, but for the most part.
But for most part, like Jam Master Jay was shot in Queens.
Yep.
Big L.
Chinks Drugs.
Like
there's more.
Yeah, there's so many rappers that have been shot.
Triple X.
Yeah, in their own cities, and it's like, man, like, yeah, the only ones I can really think of that have been shot outside their cities were Tupac and Biggie.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think with all this stuff happening, like, it's like almost like, and the last point I want to make on the conspiracy thing is the fact that if this guy is a snitch and he's a known snitch, this means he's already worked with the feds.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, the one example I'll give, but, you know, like the Patsy, like in JFK, many people believe that there's no way Lee Harvey Oswald worked alone. Like, that it couldn't have been possible. Many people believe there are other shooters present that day, all that stuff. So, if he didn't work alone, that means he was a patsy. He was a fall boy in a bigger scheme, because there were other people set in place to also try to carry this thing out. And if someone's going to set up a patsy and try to set something up, and they're going to have a fall guy from... It's going to be a guy from the neighborhood. One of the guys who infiltrated the Black Panthers, I'm pretty sure, did it for $500. Like, if you look at the old, like, like case files and stuff, I'm pretty sure one of the, like, the guys who were, like, the main infiltrators of the Black Panthers, I'm pretty sure was a guy from the neighborhood, and they paid him $500, I'm pretty sure. Like, that's how low of a cost he took to fucking go in to do that. And it's just, I don't know. The thing is, at the end of the day, like, I seen a meme, and it kind of explained exactly where I was trying to come from with having this conversation for a few days, but, like, you know, if the government or if Big Pharma or whoever it may be that wanted this carried out was going to work in this fashion, they're not going to send some white CIA agent in a fucking blazer with a fucking silenced pistol and sunglasses to come do it. You know what I mean? It's going to be someone who fits the neighborhood. Yeah. So this guy was already working with the feds because he was a snitch. He gets $7 million bail in solitary confinement so no one can talk to him. And then the defense attorney handed to him is a high-profile defense attorney. Like, this just reeks of suspicion to me.
One thing I almost forgot about. Shout out to Russell Westbrook. He did something amazing, like for Nipsey at the beginning of, like, I think it was that day or the day after the next game that they played. Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
So
like 20 fucking.
He had 20 points,
20 assists,
and 20 rebounds.
Yeah.
And even before, like,
Wilt Chamberlain was the only other person ever.
Wilt Chamberlain was the only one that did that. And even before the game, he said, "Hey, I'm gonna do something special for Nipsey." And then, like as he's going down the court after he got that last rebound, he was like, "Yo," you can see him saying, like, "Yo, this is for Nipsey. This is for Nipsey." And, like, for you to do something that only one other person has ever done, ever.
Yeah.
Like, man, that's like fucking, and, like, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. And then in the interview after the game, like, he was like, "Oh, like 2020 and 20, like, people know what that is. This is for Nipsey." Like,
yeah,
that's huge, man. So
no, that's big. That's real big.
Shout out to Russell Westbrook for that one. But what are we looking at in time? Can you see that? My eyes are bad.
We're at the end.
Okay.
Well, so that was yeah.
So we did a whole episode on.
Rest in peace, Nipsey. I think it's unfortunate. It's super sad. Before we get out, I just want to say I was never huge into his music prior.
Yeah.
But this has definitely opened the door to me to really appreciate his music, and he was a great artist. And you know, it's unfortunate sometimes these types of events are what it takes for us to really learn to appreciate something. But you know, I'm just glad that I can at least give that part now. And you know, he owned all his music, so all that money goes to his family. And it's just, it's crazy unfortunate, man. I'm just going back watching all those old interviews and stuff. It's just, it's sad.
So We're done.
Our camera's gone, but I just wanted to finish my note. But yeah, no Condom podcast. It wasn't a very fun episode this week for y'all, but
no, but man,
it had to be
said. We had to pay our respects. We lost a good one in hip hop.